a very, very different program coming to you. It's a program which is meant to empower our industry. It is meant to provide you a lot more information on how to take Incredible India forward, and not just Incredible India, but also become an Atmanirbhar Bharat as we take India forward into the 21st century. You all must be wondering that at this point of the pandemic and at a time when it is so very challenging for all of us, how we are talking of opportunities. But that's the greatness of human spirit. It's the ability to come above the adversities that come in front of humanity at different times. And today, to take us forward on this remarkable journey of our remarkable country is the Ministry of MSME, and taking it forward as a session is Mr. Devendra Kumar Singh. Sir, we are very, very happy to have you with us. I'll give a small introduction, very difficult to give a small introduction for a man who has been doing so much with his career. Mr. D.K. Singh is from the 1989 batch of the Indian Administrative Service. He's from the Kerala cadre, but has been working extensively with the central government also. Mr. Singh has been the Additional Chief Secretary, Agriculture, and also the Agriculture Production Commissioner. He's worked as Secretary Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying. He has worked as District Collector in Wayanad and Kollam. During his stint as in the Directorate General of Foreign Trade, he was assigned with the work related to formulation of foreign trade policy to enhance transparency, e-governance, greater trade facilitation, digitization of processes from end to end of the process chain. He has also worked as Chairman APIDA from July 2017 to July 18. And I think he is just the rightest person that we could have got today as we take the industry forward in times when the government is coming up with a lot of support pillars. So welcome, sir, and thank you so much for acceding to the request of the industry. Everyone is very, very anxious and very curious to listen to the inputs from you. Once again, I want to thank you personally and on behalf of everyone who has joined in for taking out time for this very useful webinar for us. Namaskar, sir.
Good morning, and many thanks, Mrs. Rupinder Brar, for giving such a elaborate introduction. And I'm very happy to join this program and to connect with the enterprises pertaining to the tourism sector. And this is actually, one of the first formal interaction with the services sector. Though I had one interaction with the Tamil Nadu, Hotels and Restaurants Association. They were wanted to know what are the schemes. But today I am so happy that Ministry of Tourism has taken initiative to connect Ministry of MSME with one of the most vibrant sector of our economy, which is tourism and related industry. I will take, something, and I would like to inform that you people are reading in the newspaper about the various things which government is focusing, especially in the MSME sector. And due to COVID, things have changed. Some of the things have changed forever. And some of the things have changed for a short duration of, say, 1 year or 2 years. Tourism is one sector where we feel during our assessment of our ministry, that this sector has been affected adversely to the maximum level due to the COVID. And it has caused highest level of disruption in the business. There is a lot of reluctance on the part of tourists to travel. There is a lot of restrictions on air travel. There is a lack of confidence in the travelers. to travel for either for business purposes or for recreational purposes. People are in a mood to avoid travel. So it is affecting all the businesses relating to, maybe air industry, transport industry, which are transporting tourists, hotels, restaurants, tour operators, ticket booking agents, and all. There are so many small service providers which are linked to the businesses. So this is one of the area where we feel that many people have really affected, and some of them might have lost their jobs temporarily or maybe in permanent sense. So therefore, there is a need to have a deeper look inside the business and to orient that you are mentally ready to cope up with the COVID situations in short term. Maybe for next 2 years, the situation would be like that. So how we should change our businesses, that is very important. How we should respond to those businesses, those needs, we must be ready. And first, we have to survive this phase. We make ensure that our businesses are not closed. And if we are able to manage that, I am sure that after 2 years, things would be normal, and you will be able to thrive. You will be able to, have a better opportunity to grow. So in this context, our ministry has done few things. One of the things is that we have changed the definition of MSME. The criteria of the definition has been changed. Earlier, it was the investment in the plant and machinery or equipments. Now it is investment as well as the turnover. The second thing is that the criteria, the threshold limits have been increased. For a small micro enterprise, if your turnover is up to 5 crore, you will be considered as micro enterprise. If your turnover is up to 50 crores, you are considered as small enterprise. And up to 250 crore, you are considered as medium enterprise. So the level, the gaps are there, and there is an opportunity to grow your business now. What is the benefit if you fall into the category of micro and medium? For these two categories, government has a public procurement policy. So you are entitled to get benefit if any public sector undertaking is taking procurement of services. You are entitled to all those benefits. Suppose there is a company who is organizing a seminar for their stakeholders, say for example their managers or their clients. So our tour operators have a claim to get that order from that central PSU under the public sector, our procurement policy. You also get preference in the price up to 15%. So if you are participating in their tender, and if your prices are little higher, but still you will be given an opportunity to reduce your cost and offer your services. So that type of facility is available under the public procurement policy. Of we do not have any list of mandatory procurement of services like we have in the manufacturing sector. Those lists are yet to be notified. We are working on that list, and I will be happy to get any suggestions also from the Ministry of Tourism, so that we can include those services in the mandatory list of the procurement. So, you have benefit in getting, EMD, and then tenders are free of cost. But since most of the businesses are in private sector and your clients are in the private sector, probably you have to look something different in terms of your strategy. Your strategy could be, to align with the present needs, requirements of the, people. And for that, we have certain schemes like, where we give, if you take a loan from the bank, you can take interest subvention. There is an interest subvention scheme on, incremental loans. Then we have schemes for clusters. There is a scheme for cluster development. So far, not a single, proposal is there from the services sector. Probably, if a group of people join together, and if they would like to create certain common facility centers for their clients or for their different users, we will be open to those suggestions. So there is a need to work together and to bring some innovative projects where such funding can be made available. The other part, actually, I would like to say that the requirement of the sector is, very huge and maybe different. There are so many segmentation. Each segment may have different requirements. For example, if you are running a small, cottage or some small thing, probably if you are going to take modernization of your, amenities, if you come to a bank, you are eligible for loan under the priority sector lending. The benefit, if you are a MSME, then you get a priority sector lending from the banks. Reserve Bank of India has stipulated that certain share of the lending has to be under the priority sector lending, like agriculture. Agriculture, about 12 to 15%, it has to go to the agriculture. Similarly, 8% of their total lending has to go to the MSME sector. So therefore, with your registration, Udyam registration, you can approach to the bank and demand, lending as per the terms of the priority sector lending. So that benefit you must avail, and you demand from the banks that you are eligible as per these guidelines, and you should be, such loans should be made available to you. The requirement, the Udyam registration is compulsory. Earlier, it used to be Udyam Udyog Aadhaar Memorandum. This process has been changed, and it is a total, free of cost online registration. No documentation is required. We are taking data from CBDT and GST to know what is your turnover, what is your investment in the plant and machine, and so based on that, classification is given. We are not asking any document. And if you are a first timer, if you are coming for the first time to start your business, we understand that you have not filed any ITR, income tax returns. So that is not a hindrance. We will go by your self-declaration. You just declare that what are your investment in plant and machinery. What is your turnover? Your turnover may be 20 lakhs. Does not matter. You are starting your business. So you should have a solid business plan, and government schemes would help you. So these are things which I thought that I would share with you. And in the end, maybe if there are certain queries, I will be happy to answer those queries also. My officer will make a presentation, detailed presentation also on the schemes. And and again, I would like to convey through the Ministry of Tourism to all your stakeholders that government is with the uh, all the enterprises who are connected with the tourism department and tourism ministry, because we understand this is the segment who has suffered more, and this is also a segment who has created lot of jobs in the formal as well as informal sector. So there is a difficulty, we understand, but we are with the industry, and we will be very happy to help uh, with you. And if you are facing any challenge in getting loans or getting through connections, you please log in our champions portal. Our ministry has developed a champions portal. You just log in, give your problems or your suggestions, and we have created nodal officers for each type of activity. So somebody will try to respond and try to connect with you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So thank you so very much. I think to all the people who have logged in, sir's words have been very, very reassuring. The fact that it is a top priority for the government to make sure that the process of taking our businesses forward is being eased out in so many ways. So thank you so much, sir, and we'll come back to you with more questions. And at this stage, I now welcome Mr. Anand Sherkhane. He is the Additional Development Commissioner in the Ministry of MSME, and he shall be bringing out the more nitty-gritties and the more details on what all is the MSME doing for promotion of an Atmanirbhar Bharat. Welcome, Mr. Anand Sherkhane. Anand, you need to unmute yourself.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rupinder ji. Let's begin with the presentation. I have with me my Assistant Director, Mr. Manoj Sharma, who would be making a detailed presentation, as sir has said. We'll begin with the Udyam registration.
So we have a unique mechanism of registering an MSME unit. The website name has been displayed on the slide, and now it is called the Udyam registration. It has got specific features. First thing is that it is totally free of cost. No fees is involved. There are a number of malicious sites on internet who will ask for money, but please do not visit those websites. This is the only portal where entrepreneur has to register himself for registration of micro, small or medium enterprise. For the registration, only Aadhaar number is required. There is no need for any other document. The number which you will get, that is the permanent registration number. The certificate will be issued online. There is no need to go to any office. It will be emailed to you on your registered email ID, whatever you provide during the registration process. If once we are registered, there is no need for renewal of that certificate. That will be valid. We have got champions control room, which have been established in our MSME DIs across the country, and also people can visit the district industry center for any kind of support if they need for any kind of registration or the details about our schemes. As I told earlier also, this registration is totally free. There is no cost involved. During registration, there is no proof which will be asked from you for uploading online, because we rely upon you. Whatever information is being provided by the future entrepreneur, the government fully relies on that information. So please provide only the correct information. The enterprises who are already registered, that is whether they have Udyog Aadhaar memorandum number, that is UAM, or previously it was called EM Part 2. In case you are still having that number, that is still valid till 31st of March 2021. So there is no need to panic. In case you have not find time to register yourself again, you can wait till 31st March 21 in case you are already registered on the website. So your existing numbers are still valid. As far as benefits of registration is concerned, once we are registered on the Udyam registration website and we get our number, that in that case we are eligible for all the schemes which are being run by the Ministry of MSME. Apart from that, you will get benefits under the public procurement policy also. And as I told that this is a priority sector, so once you approach any kind of bank or financial institute with this registration number, they will treat you on priority. There is a scheme for the new entrepreneurs. If they want to start their own unit, whether it is in case of manufacturing or in case of service enterprise, since we are from tourism sector, so obviously you will be more interested in the service sector. So the scheme is called PMEGP, Prime Minister Employment Generation Program. It is an old scheme which is being run through KVIC, that is Khadi Village Industries Commission. There is an online application mode. The link is provided on this slide. Once we click this link, then we will. Then it is a self-explanatory process. You have to give certain details. For example, as I told, Aadhaar number is mandatory. On this stage, there is no need for Udyog Aadhaar or Udyam registration. Only Aadhaar number is mandatory. You have to provide the probable address of the site where you are going to register your unit. You have to provide your PAN number. Apart from that, in case you are holding any account number, you have to give the details. From the bank, you can also select the name of the bank from which you wish to avail the finance for your enterprise. So for manufacturing sector, the maximum financial loan which is being facilitated is 25 lakhs. For the services sector, it is 10 lakhs. And there is a subsidy also. In case we establish the unit in urban area or rural area, there is a difference in the rate of subsidy. For general category, we get 15% subsidy for urban area and 25% subsidy for rural area. In case of special category entrepreneurs, that is SC, ST, women, physically handicapped, northeastern regions, etc. In that case, for the urban, there is a subsidy of 25%, and for the rural area, there is a subsidy of 35%. So the women entrepreneurs and the people from other special categories, they get the special treatment. They get extra subsidy of 10%. There is an interest subvention scheme also for MSMEs. The main objective of the scheme is to encourage the manufacturing as well as service enterprises so that they can increase their productivity, and there are incentives available for them. There is a subvention of 2% for the working capital or the term loan, and the maximum limit of working capital or the term loan which is covered under this scheme is 100 lakh rupees. So we cannot get interest subvention for more than 100 lakh. As far as eligibility is concerned, as you can again see, valid Udyam registration number is mandatory. So for whatever scheme you go, for any benefit from government or its associated bodies, you need a registration certificate. That is why my sincere request to all the entrepreneurs is to get themselves registered with the Udyam registration website. Now, this is available only through scheduled commercial banks. So if we approach any roadside institute, it might not be possible. So please visit only the scheduled commercial banks to avail this facility. Then you might have heard about the Mudra Yojana. This is called Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, and the nodal agency is SIDBI. This is very beneficial for the tourism sector also, because the vendors, traders, shopkeepers, and the service sector activities, they are covered. There are 3 categories of loans which are available. One is Shishu, another one is Kishore, and the last one is Tarun. So as you see that the maximum support which you can get is 10 lakh rupees and starting from 50,000. So as per the need of the entrepreneur, he can visit SIDBI or other government banks, and he can check about this facility. It is easily available, but there is no subsidy available under this scheme. So, thanks, sir. As DC sir told about the public procurement policy, so even this is called public procurement policy, under which it is mandatory to procure 25% from the MSME sector by the central government ministries and its offices. this is not applicable to state governments. Out of this 25% target, 4% has been exclusively reserved from the SC/ST entrepreneurs and another 3% from the women entrepreneurs. So from the MSME entrepreneurs, there is no tender fees charged, no earnest money deposit, provided they have got the Udyam registration number. So for the services sector, you can avail these benefits. There are 358 items which are exclusively reserved for procurement from MSEs. But since tourism is a service sector, so this might not be applicable to them. But if a service sector unit, say from tourism sector, the transportation sector, logistics sector, if they quote for any tender for Government of India, then they are allowed to participate. And since, as I told you, 25% is reserved for them, so even if they quote higher, then they are allowed to again reconsider their quotation. And if they agree to bring down the value to the lowest bidder, then still they can they are eligible to participate in the tender and priority will be given to them. So this is a slide which shows our offices. Like first one, as you see, MSME DIs. These are located across the country, even in remote areas like Lakshadweep and Andaman Nicobar, including northeastern region. So these are MSME development institutes, which are the field offices of our ministry. Then we have got district industry centers, which are a part of state government. Then we have got KVIC, Khadi Village Industries Commission, and KVIB, Khadi Village Industries Board. KVIC is the central government body and KVIB are run by the state governments. Then you can approach public or private sector banks also. You can query about our schemes as applicable to them. So if you are not able to find, if you want to inquire something about the scheme like CLCSS, you can visit the banks also and they will be happy to help you out. These are the 3 websites given on which you can visit. The first one is the Office of Development Commissioner MSME. The second one is the Ministry of MSME website. And third one is the Champions portal, as told by DC sir. So the entrepreneurs can visit these websites for any further support, whatever required. So thank you so much from my side.
So Rupinder ji, that was the brief presentation that we have had. I would like to just mention 2 things here. One is the question raised by Ravina Kurgaonkar. It's regarding that they have been registered at manufacturing company and whether they can be registered as a services enterprise. Yes, they can. If they provide services of any kind, then they can be very well be registered as services in, enterprise also. Mm-hmm. Sir, I'm sure, sir, DC sir is has raised one issue with respect to the MSE CDP, stating that we have not received any proposal from the tourism sector. Recently, there was a proposal discussed with me with respect to, a newer concept under tourism. That is which is much prevalent in US and some of these North American countries, where this caravan and tourism is there. The tourists use the caravans to go to a place and then stay in that rather than in a hotel or something like that. So that concept, a couple of individuals had come and they wanted to start that kind of a project. I do not know how to go about it, but certainly I can direct them to Ms. Rupinder ji. आप उसको देख लीजिएगा, आप उसको अगर वेट कर देती हैं, and then if it can be taken up under cluster development of the CDP scheme, I think that would be a very good idea to and an innovative way to approach tourism, according to me. So I'll direct them to you and they'll meet you and discuss how to.
Anand, that would be fantastic. In fact, I would like to share with you that in Madhya Pradesh, they've actually come up with 3 such caravans. Oh, and it's working with great success. In India also, people are ready for new products, new ways of traveling. And so it's very interesting that you are raising this. Please do direct them to us.
Yeah, sure.
Happy to value add.
Yeah.
And as we go down on the question answer box, there are so many other questions. Would you like me to read them, or do you want to just read them and take them as? So the next question is from Paradise Trail. Saket has asked that majority of us have questions on how the GST component is calculated for the various services that we offer, and what is the MSME benefits and how we can avail. I think a lot has already been said on how the MSME benefits can flow. But on the GST component, is there something you want to say at this point?
GST, we are not the authority, and we may not be able to give you any specific answer to that, perhaps. But
Yes,
certainly,
for that we need a GST
I
seminar
think,
separately.
yeah.
So we have the
Actually, I
organization.
would just like to add,
Ji sir.
ये जो GST का issue raise हो रहा है, we are not going into the, our ministry is not going to go into the intricacies of the GST. अगर कोई issue है कि GST rate कम करना है, ज़्यादा करना है, we are getting some representation which we take it up with the GST and Department of Revenue.
Right.
Now, our relationship with GST is to take their data for the purposes of classification of the enterprise. Just to classify whether it is a micro enterprise or it is a small enterprise or a medium enterprise. So this helps only to determine the classification, that's all. We are not going into the other details at all. And if there are certain other issues relating to rates, etc., which many products may have, which if some representation comes, we just take it to the Department of Revenue, because that ministry is the real ministry.
Right.
Now I was going through the second thing. I was going through the certain your questions which people are typing it. There are many issues relating to registration they are asking, and let me clarify that there is only one portal for the registration of Udyam, and government has not authorized any service provider or any other agency to register this Udyam registration. Why? Because our database is now connected with the CBDT and GST. Private sector databases are not connected at all. And please do not go and approach to any of the service provider. We are getting many complaints that many agencies are charging money and just to register. If you sit yourself, probably you can complete your entire registration process in 15 minutes. Provided you have your PAN number, your mobile number in your hand, and your details of what is your investment in the plant and machinery, what is your investment turnover, and what is your exports. So if 4 or 5 figures are in your hand, you can complete the entire process in 15 minutes flat. Then the process is same if it is a any type of legal entity, whether it is company or whether it is a partnership or if it is a proprietorship. The process is the same. The form is also the same. The form is not different from different entities. The only thing we are saying that if you have one PAN and 6-7 units, you will get only one Udyam registration number. You will not get different Udyam registration numbers for different units. But there is a provision to list all those units in the same Udyam. So there is a separate identity to each of your units, but you will get only one registration. And this registration is a permanent registration. Once you do it, it is permanent. Only we are asking some yearly updates, just to, once in a year you come on the website and update your status. It will give an idea whether you are really working or you are not working, and so that is the second or third stages. So these are the things which actually some of the questions raised, and if there are certain any issue I,
Sir,
Sir,
I have a
I'll
question.
respond to a couple of them,
I'm
sir. I've
going-
just noted a couple of them.
I also have a question coming on the side on my phone. So I'll quickly ask one question, which is asked by one of our large associations. They are saying that since the tourism industry requires immediately support with banks and financial institutions who are hesitating to take additional exposure, can a special nodal officer / team be appointed, perhaps in coordination with Ministry of Tourism, for tourism industry in the champions control room to fast track problem resolution?
yes, actually, we have requested all the ministries to appoint a nodal officer. And, probably I'm sure there will be some nodal officer in your ministry also who is linked to the champions portal.
Okay, sir.
Now, this regarding credit, this emergency credit line scheme, where government is giving the 100% guarantee. So banks are not supposed to ask any additional, collaterals at all. They can assess your financial viability, etc. But they should not ask any additional collateral to avail the benefit under the emergency credit line. And if any, bank is insisting, please bring it to the notice of the Department of Financial Services. Government has made it very clear. There was a meeting of the finance minister with all the banks CMD, and it has been conveyed to all the banks that they should not ask any additional collateral for this 20%. The second thing that, now government has come out the details of the subordinate debt scheme also. If your, due to some reason, if your accounts have become, non-standard and NPA, so you can contact your banks to take the, help under that subordinate debt scheme. Now, most of the banks have joined this scheme. To avail the benefit under this scheme, banks have to sign MOU with our credit guarantee, fund, and about all the major banks have already signed. So they have already onboarded it. So if there are few cases, maybe there will be few cases which may require assistance under this, subordinate scheme. They can avail those credit line as well.
Right, sir. So also considering the kind of risk exposure that the whole industry, the whole sector in fact has been exposed to, one of the requests, if it can be considered, is that cash flows are only predicted in 21-22, sir. I'm sure you're aware of that. That can there be an additional facility augmentation for tourism MSMEs up to 50% as against the 20% of outstandings as provided under the 3 lakh crore scheme? And also, could we look at the repo rate instead of the upper cap at 9% and 13% for banks and NBFCs provided for? Is there a possibility, sir?
Yeah, actually, I suggest, you please, Ravinder, you send me a, note.
Sure, sir.
And, I will be very happy to take up this issue with the, DFS.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. We'll definitely revert to you on that. And we can, I think, go on the Q&A box. Anand, you were wanting to look at a couple of questions.
Yeah, I'll respond to a couple of questions that have been raised. One is raised by Ravi Shankar from Goa regarding the ferries and the boats. So, sir, I think we can take up this under MSC CDP cluster schemes. I mean, just a thought that came to my mind instantaneously.
Yeah. Just can you read the question? Actually, I'm not able to see that.
Let me see, sir. Yes, sir. This is, we operate a marine tourism and passenger ferry service in Goa. This is the latest priority segment is how we see this. No bank lease finances boats and related equipment. how can this industry grow, survive purely from personal financing or loan against property with very high interest rates? So after having read this question, sir, I thought, why not this kind of a cluster development takes place? People come in group and under our MSc CDP, because the minimum requirement is 20 people. So 20 people can come together and, have one boat each and, get the maximum benefit out of this. We may have to look the details of the scheme as such, because for the movable asset, whether that will be allowed or not, but that can always be looked into. But that is my response to that, sir.
Yeah, actually, for services, we need to have certain different type of approach, because
Yes,
there
sir.
is no fixed
Yes, sir.
capital, in traditional term, which we call it plant and machinery. But for
Correct.
tourism, plant and machinery is that, boats.
Boats. Yes.
For in this specific case.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
probably we have to think over, and maybe, if there are certain, in the broad framework, what our ministry has, if certain things come from through the Ministry of Tourism, we can sit together and make certain cases. And we should try to attempt few pilot schemes, so
Yes,
that,
sir,
it gives
definitely.
a new idea to people.
Right, sir.
Because I think today's webinar is going to open a plethora of thoughts and opportunities. I think it's been a great session. In fact, one technical, very small question, Anand, you could answer that.
Or दो questions है, मैम, just respond to those and then I'll take that.
एक ये पूछ रहे हैं, सबसे नीचे एक क्वेश्चन बहुत ही छोटा सा है, ये कह रहे हैं, we are a private limited company whose Aadhaar number will be required.
Actually, Aadhaar number we are asking for the person who is authorized by the company to fill up that.
Okay.
So usually company will authorize a person, maybe company secretary, to fill up that form.
Okay.
Because we send OTP to that authorized person. So we are not asking. So it means that he is authorized. Suppose if I am filing for some company, it means I am authorized by that company to fill up that. So all the communications, all the OTP, or in future also there is a requirement of email, etc., with means of communication. And now see, all these systems are going to be integrated in long run or even short run. So what I suggest that if it is a company, they can choose the same thing which they have offered with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Because systems can talk to each other and get the information quickly.
Yeah.
The other question was raised by Sumit Philip. It's regarding the outstanding payment. But Sumit has stated that they have not raised the pay order. So, and the bill amounting to some 4 lakhs has not been paid by that company. It's a big company, he says. He certainly can, make a small, kind of grievance on the Champions portal. I think we can very well forward it to the company concerned and ask them to pay. Similar, I think, was the question of Mr. Saket, who says that payments are not being made by the people who avail the services. So whenever such instances come, I think the Champions portal can be logged into and the grievance can be made there. One issue was raised by Georgia Scaria. It's regarding whether
Actually, Anand, here I would like to just add two things.
हाँ sir.
एक तो जो है, अगर आपका ड्यूज पब्लिक सेक्टर से पेंडिंग है, तो we have a portal of Samadhan where you can raise your invoices. Second is a bill discounting system. जहाँ पे ये जो आप केस एक बता रहे थे, प्राइवेट कंपनी से उनको लेना है, so in that case they can place the invoices in that trades, and in the trade system that invoices are accepted by that company, and if the company accepts that, then some other banks and other financial institutions can pay to the raiser after getting certain discount. So that is the system.
Yes, sir.
And this system is working well in terms of manufacturing sector. I'm sure that it will also work in the services sector as well. But Anand, just check also whether there is any what to say, any barrier for the services sector to join to this portal. That just
No, so there is no barrier. But in this particular case, the problem is that the company is not accepting and stating that the services provided were very poor, and therefore they are not willing to pay. This is the problem.
Okay, so then there is a dispute about the quality.
Yes, sir. There is a dispute about the quality, sir. Regarding Georgia Scavia, the question is about the whether the tourism sector is put under RBS negative list or something like that. I think that's not a fact. There's no such rulings from the RBI. Tourism sector is obviously it is one of the vibrant sector of the Indian economy. It cannot be put under the negative list of the by the central bank. So it is not George. It's not true. The tourism sector is not under a negative list. Rupinder ji, do you have any questions, specific questions?
No, I'm reading through the questions only. Against, a lot of elementary questions also coming. That if you were an MSME but you were not registered or listed as an MSME, can they register now and avail benefits whenever they are announced?
Yes. The answer is yes.
Fantastic. So, because in fact, that has been one of the largest concerns of our industry. They've been relatively, not so aware of how to list themselves and where. So that comes as a huge support. So the other, if I'm looking through the various questions, one of the, and I'm sure our listeners will agree and understand that the pandemic is unprecedented and therefore the solutions are coming. But the linkage, sir, what people are saying is that you have a lot of schemes, but when they go down to the ground level, actually working at the bank's level, they are not necessarily getting the kind of response that they are expected to get. How do we sort that problem, sir?
Actually, that issue is being addressed at the highest level, because certain cases have come to notice of DFS, and they are working. Instructions have been sent, but if there are certain specific issue with a specific bank or a specific branch, because loan has to be given through a branch. So our enterprises and the units, they go to an approach to a bank manager ultimately. Right. So if there are any issue, then it has to be raised with the DFS.
Right. I think,
also,
sir, I'll add to what you're
on the
saying.
Champions portal also.
Ji, sir. I think, initiatives like these, when we have a person as senior as the additional secretary himself come up and speak and inform us about everything that MSME is doing, and he's here with his whole team, probably, more communications like these will create far more confidence and information for all our industry. And therefore, I think we just need to keep communication on, sir. I think we'll request you or your team members to perhaps do another one with us on another day. And, it would be so very useful. So there are also questions like, are food truck businesses covered under MSME, and whether a license will be issued for that?
Food truck? Yes,
food truck.
Actually, of course, they can register as an enterprise, and no license is required. We do not give any license. We do not give any license. And only a registration is required, with our on the Udyam registration portal. And with that registration port number and printout, they can approach banks to avail credit.
Right.
Yeah.
So somebody has asked that the champions control room is directing us towards the contact lead manager in the district. But if he does not respond, then is there a helpline or is there somewhere where we can let you know?
Just repeat in the district where they are contacting.
At the district level, sir, he's saying, I'm contacting the lead manager in the district.
Okay. The person is contacting, or the our development institutes are contacting.
So the question coming is, I'll read the exact question, sir. Champions control room only directing to contact lead manager in the district, but he is not responding. What to do?
This each district in each state we have our champions control room, and through our development institutes, MSME development institutes, and now we have also extension centers. We have tool rooms. So all these are the champions, control rooms. They are supposed to talk directly to the concerned lead bank manager. Okay, so suppose after that also concerned things are not improving, then probably there is a need to escalate to the DFS. That this is the case where the lead bank manager has been taken up, and still this issue is not going to be is not being addressed. So those issues needs to be addressed and taken up with the DFS.
Right. So there's another question from a viewer who says, does MSME in service sector also be eligible for subsidy in their electricity bills?
No. We are not giving subsidy to any people for electricity bill.
So another person has asked a question, why restaurants in tourist destination are not covered on DIC's list for grant of subsidy?
What is that DIC?
I am also wondering, I thought, is it something to do with MSME or is it a district subject? The question is, sir,
it's a state subject, sir. Rupinderji, it's a state subject.
Okay, so that's what I thought as much. Yes. So again, many of them have asked for some mechanism to come in place to avoid the communication gap between the scheme policy and its implementation at the bank and the local government level. And therefore, we'll also, sir, reiterate that request that if some mechanism can be put in place.
Actually, it's very essential to have a clear official channel for communication. And this is one initiative you have ministry has taken. It is really very good. Similarly, our development institutes are also conducting many training programs, online webinars. So today, maybe after listening to you people, and this is the first interaction, I will also instruct my development institutes to have service sector focusing webinars. And the second, actually, I was just thinking that we can have some orientation for your officers, tourism department officers. We can have one day training program for
that would be fantastic, sir.
We can ask our Hyderabad Institute to conduct a online training program, so that your field level officials are aware what are the schemes and how, once they are equipped, probably they will be in a better position to assist your tourism industry people in a much better way.
That's a brilliant idea, sir. Absolutely brilliant. Yes, absolutely. Because, sir, in fact, when I was going through with you today's presentation, it's been a great learning for me myself also. So I'm sure for all of us, we have a lot of gaps in our understanding on what the government is actually trying to do at this point. So a training session for the officials of the ministry would be a superb idea, sir. I'll be in touch with your office to organize that at the earliest. So there are also more questions of under the Udyam registration, you need to take local trade license also or no?
Actually, for your local trade license as per the rules of the state government would be required. But we are not asking those details while filling up the Udyam registration. So we believe that anyway those local regulations would be applicable and they have to take that.
Right. And therefore, on similar lines, a participant has asked that we have already registered on the Udyog Aadhaar website. Do we also then need to register on Udyam registration?
Yes. Actually, it is not required immediately because Udyog Aadhaar memorandum is valid up to 31st March of the next year. However, after that, its validity will be over. So before 1st of April 2021, they have to get registered themselves on the Udyam portal.
Okay.
And so we advise that, not to wait till that. Before that, they should take steps to get themselves registered on the Udyam portal.
So similar, I'm going just scrolling down the questions, sir. Again, I think a lot of support required in communication with the banks, because I think that's where things are stopping. The banks naturally must have their own anxiety in terms of the exposure. But probably, sir, would you suggest that we could perhaps do one session with some of the bankers and co-join with MSME? Would that help us, sir?
Bankers, we can have services sector related, but that we will also participate, but the initiative must be taken with the DFS.
That's right, sir. We'll
because
have to go
they are
through
the initiative. Yeah,
that.
so we can do the role of advocacy,
Thank
but
you,
they
sir.
have to intervene.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No, thank you, sir. Definitely. It's their domain, and so we'll have to go through that. Absolutely. So many more questions. Probably we'll put together in a proper document and put them in some heads and send them across to your office, because we are just out of time. We've reached 12 o'clock before we even realized, Hanji.
Really very good, yes. So I have also a meeting at 12 o'clock. So what I suggest that I would conclude, and if you want, Anand can continue for maybe another 10-15 minutes. और भी एक दो questions हो they can address.
जी जी
And
सर, हम बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहेंगे सारे जो लोग ज्वाइन किए हैं उनकी तरफ से भी, और ये हमारा वेबिनार रिकॉर्डेड रहता है क्योंकि सर, तो वील सेंड इट अक्रॉस टू द इंडस्ट्री, और जो लोग किसी वजह से ना भी ज्वाइन कर पाए हों वो भी इसको देख पाएंगे, और हम आपको एक विल पुट अप अ डॉक्यूमेंट ताकि एक क्वेश्चंस को कुछ शेप थोड़ी सी दे पाए हम हेड वाइज, एंड वी लुक forward to working together. I personally and on behalf of the ministry once again want to thank you for taking out a whole 1 hour. I know how demanding your time is. So thank you so very much for your input, sir.
Thank you very much to you and all. And I wish all the best wishes to all of your participants. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Sir. Anand, would you like to take a couple of other questions before we will certainly be closing?
Yeah, any specific, because as regards the many have asked for the PPT. We'll certainly share this with you. You can in turn share with
Yes, we'll share it with our ministry. Absolutely.
Any specific questions if you have, or if anybody has, then that can be brought, and then because there are so many now, we have to read. And then
I know it's almost जितने participant हैं उतने question हैं.
I know 159 questions are there.
159 questions are there. But that also shows, Anand, that कितना हमारी जो sector है, it is so stressed, because you would understand that travel and tourism and hospitality depends totally on travel.
Bilkul. It's the most worst effect impacted by the COVID.
Yes, and so whatever we can do for their revival, it's fantastic. In fact, to hear all the different things that you are doing. There's one question that Mr. Taposh Chakraborty has put. He is asking that, sir, performance appraisals of the scheme. How do you measure the success of the scheme? Is there a mechanism to assess the conversion rate? That is the number of loan applicants versus taker. And if the success rate is less than 15%, then do you review your scheme? I don't know how relevant that question is to today's webinar, but
it's basically the bankers must be doing it rather than we doing it. We obviously evaluate, Rupenderji, we evaluate our schemes end of the particular plan period or the duration, whether the scheme has achieved its intended goal or not. But as regards the scheme, under the scheme, some disbursements happened. As I said, that is we try to analyze and through a third party. But as regards the credit disbursement by the banks, that is their domain.
So I'll just take one or two quick questions. We've got a question which says that we would like to request that the Atmanirbhar MSME loan package given across all sectors should be enhanced for tourism and hospitality. The 20% funds on existing loans is not going to be sufficient to cater to a 12 to 18 month setback. And I am again not very sure whether you...
I think it's your domain, Rupenderji, it's your domain. You should ask them to make, a combined proposal to you, and then you in turn take it to the Ministry of Finance.
Yes, so absolutely. I would definitely like to mention here to all persons who are, joined in, to say that considering that after all, Government of India is a huge body, and there are verticals and ministries and organizations, therefore, which are dedicated to certain specific purposes. And we as a Ministry of Tourism have a huge role to play in terms of advocacy, of taking forward your interests. And therefore, today's webinar in terms of taking benefits from whatever MSME can offer is one such initiative. We've been writing to the other, ministries, whether it is for your SCIS to the Ministry of Commerce or whether it is for moratorium extensions, etc. So just keep working with us and keep flagging issues, and we'll be more than happy. And as you've already, observed, Mr. Singh already said that he would be helping us to structure some more training programs, which shall pass on to all of you also. Anand, two last quick questions, and then we'll, close today's session.
Yeah.
Can we get collateral-free loan, as banks do give to those only who have previous relationships with a collateral? And the second question is, tourism sector can get loan at what subsidized rate of interest? Again, is that really in your domain?
No. See, 2% subvention, that what the SMEs can get, MSMEs can get. But as regards, collateral, there is a scheme. If you look at, it's 2 crores, the scheme called CLCSS. But it is, unfortunately, as of now, it is only confined to the manufacturing. We are in the process of having a relook whether it can be, extended also to the services sector. But as of now, it is under only manufacturing sector. Yeah.
Right. So thank you so much. I think we've already overstepped our time just a little bit, but it's been a fantastic session of learning for all of us. Some reassuring words also coming, and I'm sure all of us will have many more questions after this. So I will request the viewers of today's program to put their questions through their organizations. If you can come through in a more organized form, then we shall share those with the MSME again. And if required, I'm sure we can have another session if there are more, organized questions which have remained unanswered for any reason today. But keep joining in and keep taking benefit of all the support that the government is trying to extend. It is a very difficult time. It's a challenging time. It's an unprecedented time. And all of us have to think out of the box. And we are trying to do our best to stand with you in whatever way we can. So thank you so much for joining us. And thank you so much for asking all those questions, because questions like these make us also think. And when somebody asked about schemes, are they reviewed? Yes. Schemes are reviewed periodically, even in regular times, and these being unprecedented times, the government is very, very nimble-footed. It is trying to respond as fast as it can, and but I'm sure we will emerge very strong as a country, and we will take Bharat towards being more and more Atmanirbhar, more and more resilient and more as the country of the world. So thank you, Anand, and thank you to your entire
Thank you so much,
team.
and congratulations to you for this webinar. I'm sure many more such webinars you would conduct, and you would reach out to the most impacted section of the Indian economy. I'm sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So namaste everybody, and हमारे साथ मैं हमेशा कहती हूँ बने रहिए, जुड़े रहिए, देखते रहिए अपना सुंदर अतुल्य भारत. जितना सब लोग देखेंगे, घूमेंगे, व्यवसाय लोगों के चलेंगे, because tourism is all about moving out, seeing your beautiful country, creating those small jobs for people who provide you services. So just, as the world is safe again, start running and keep seeing your beautiful country. So once again, namaskar from Incredible India, namaskar from Ministry of Tourism, and stay safe, stay healthy.
Thank you, Rupinder ji.
Thank you. Bye, Anand.
Bye.